Hi Archers! Today I'll be guiding you through Chapter 9. This is the gear I'll be using for this guide, and when I did originally pass this chapter, it was pretty much the same except I was running an epic vest and not a perfect epic vest. I recommend this gear because dodge is really important for this chapter. I am running Helix as in my opinion, Helix is currently the strongest hero. You can pretty much use any weapon you want. I feel that the death scythe was the strongest for me. On the left side of this video will be the recommended abilities for this chapter. My name is Teeds and I make many ARCHERO videos from guides, tier lists, updates, news and more. Please do subscribe and click the bell for more ARCHERO content. So for our first three abilities we have Freeze, Poison Touch and Death Nova. Not the best abilities, but I'm going to pick up Poison Touch. I do like Freeze as well, but I haven't used it in so long, and so I think my timing for... I also don't know what effect it has on the bosses, which could be trickier. Okay, so first we have the snakes here. So the snakes here, their projectiles do go over the walls. They shoot in 3 spread out projectiles. Just watch your character to avoid all the projectiles in this game. You really want to watch your character in this chapter. The other monster that we have are the 3 hands. So those 3 hands, they have a hard time directly hitting you, but they're just for zoning out parts of the level. So with those, they're really quick and easy to kill. We're going to pick up HP boost here. And they always shoot in the direction of their hands, and it's always in a diagonal direction. Okay. Just easy does it. Okay, here we have the witches. These witches throw out orbs that bounce, and they bounce 3 times before they are absorbed. So they're actually very simple. They're not very fast moving. Just hide behind the wall if you have to, but usually you just have to avoid the first bounce. It's not too bad. Sometimes the second bounce, but you usually don't have to avoid the third bounce. We're going to pick up Front Arrow here. Crit Moss is also very nice, but I really love Front Arrow, so I'm going to pick that up. We have our first angel and she's going to give us HP boost. A lot of HP boost, which is really nice. Really works out for Helix. Okay, so remember to watch your character. As you can see, lots of projectiles. It's hard to keep track of all of them, which is why you want to watch your character. You can't keep track of all the projectiles in this chapter. Okay, so more of these. I just got hit because I wasn't watching my character when I said that. It's just really... I have the hardest time trying to talk and play at the same time. It's terrible. Okay, so more of the witches and more of the hands. Remember, the hands are very, very easy to kill. Ricochet is a really good ability, and Bloodthirst is a really good ability for mobs because the mobs are very hard in this chapter. I'm going to pick up Crit Master for more crit. Okay, get rid of the hands real quick. Avoid all the projectiles from the snake. Remember, it's 3 projectiles spread out. The further you are away from them, the easier it is to avoid. But obviously you can't always reposition because they are the ones that change. And we have our first boss here, which is the snake boss. So this snake boss shoots out, I think, 8 projectiles spread out and also spawns in 2s, in pairs, is mini snakes, which spread out, which are just basically the same as what we were fighting against before. So the ricochets are really good for this boss. This boss also has no collision damage, just like the chapter 7 snake. So if I stand here, I take no collision damage, as you can see. But it makes it really hard to stay on him because of the spawns. And he can spawn as many pairs as he wants, so you have to get rid of them quickly because it's going to be really hard. When he has no spawns, feel free to stand on top of him, but I find him very, very easy, in my opinion. I think he's a really easy boss. So I just don't really need to use that little glitch. So 2 ways. You can just stand on top of him or just avoid his projectiles and kill off the spawns as fast as you can. But I think standing on top of him is a bit hard because of the smaller spawns that he spawns. The smaller snakes, because your character is always going to aim for the closest... Ooh, multi-shot. How lucky. Always going to aim for the closest... Oh my gosh. I'm in a really bad position for this. So with these ice throwers, when you get hit, they will slow you. They will slow everything. Your movement, your attack speed. They throw out a spread out, I think 6. I think 6 ice orbs. The 2 middle ones are usually closer to each other. We're going to pick up agility. because dodge is good. So with them, okay, no, it's actually spread out in the middle more. Okay, so the two middle ones are spread out more. The further you are away from them, the easier it is to avoid their projectiles. But if you're close, it's very, very hard. So try and kind of move away from them if you can, but obviously it's not always that simple. Watch your character as well. The speed of it is actually really annoying for me personally because the speeds are always just varying so much. Oh, actually, I don't even know how the pattern works. Okay, the middle is actually usually the one that spreads out the most, I believe. And we also have the shard throwers. So the shard throwers always fire in increments of 2. So I'll try and show you here. So do you see the shard throwers? Watch here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, as you can see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the shard throwers always throw it in increments of 2. They have a pause in between, like a longer pause, but every time they throw their projectile, it's always in 2. We don't need energy. Well, actually, it would be nice, but I don't want to watch an ad. I'm going to pick up Crit Master Miner here. Okay, so remember in 2s, they fire in 2s, and the middle orb thinger is very, very easy to avoid, to be honest. It's actually not that hard to kill either. So they just throw projectiles in all directions. We have attack speed, attack boost, and bolt. We're going to pick up attack boost. Okay, so I actually don't kill everything this quickly, but because I have such good abilities, it's actually making it a lot easier. Abilities play such a big role in this, like in all of Archero, but in this chapter especially. Like, if I had really bad set of abilities, I have such a hard time getting through this chapter. They can basically make or break your game. Okay, so remember to just watch your character to avoid all the projectiles. It's just projectile hell. They're just trying to throw as many projectiles as they can at you. Oof, it took a lot of damage though. Okay, I want to stay far away from those guys. Watch your character, and all will be well. Okay, so head up to the next boss here. The next boss is the Ghost Bomber. So the Ghost Bomber puts down mines. Just stay really far away from him. Honestly, there's no reason to be close to him. Just stay far away from him. And just if you are close to the mines, then just hit diagonally. And with the bombs that he throws, it's always in 5. So 1, 2, 3, pause, 4, pause, 5, pause. So when he throws the bombs, just hit 1, pause, 2, pause, 3, pause. So when I say pause, that means attack. So 1, attack, 2, attack, 3, attack. Ooh, Ricochet, nice. So we're going to pick up Ricochet here, which is really nice for mobs. Another thing with this boss is that he sometimes gets stuck in the wall here. And when that happens, you just have to be patient and take it slow. You just have to try, and also you have to try and place your character like exactly facing the corner to hit him. You're not always going to hit him, but you're most likely going to hit him there. I try to keep him away from the wall. So with the Death Scythe, you can actually kind of push them in position. So I try my best to have him pushed away, but sometimes it doesn't work. So these are, I call them bubble bats because I think they're bats and they look like bubbles. So with these bats, Ricochet is really good against them. And knockbacks, they're immune to knockbacks, so you can't knock them back. So Tornado Weapon is actually pretty good for these as well, because if you can't knock them back, which is one of the strongest points about the Death Scythe, doesn't really have effect here. They do split into 2 once you kill them. And then we have the Ghost Bombers here. So the Ghost Bombers throw a big bomb that's split into 4 blue projectiles. It's very, very annoying, but you just have to watch the projectile and move away from them. That's the best tip I can give you, because it's not really a tip for them. They don't go in diagonal directions. They only go in up, down, left, or right. So you technically can just stand like this and it won't hit you. As you can see, I'm standing in a diagonal positioning. So if I just stand here, okay, that's straight. If I stand there, it's not going to hit me. If I stand there, it's not going to hit me. And that's basically it for the Ghost Bombers. So honestly, I think that's all the monsters now, and they're not that bad. They just try to stack all the projectiles on you, which is why it makes it complicated. So yeah, just stay diagonal. Just gotta get it. Stay away from the bombs. Okay, so up to 25. I don't want coins. Thank you very much. We're gonna pick up attack boost minor. Oh, shards. I hate the shards the most. The shard throwers are what I hate the most. I absolutely hate them because they throw... It's just the speeds are so varied in this chapter. So you got like the slow moving bats, and then you have those fast shards, and then you have that very slow... I don't even know what... That very slow bouncy orb from the witch. I'm gonna pick up HP boost. We're getting so many HP boosts in this run. Okay, so remember the bouncy orbs from the witch do bounce 3 times. You generally just have to avoid like 1 or 2. The first one you avoid, the second one you don't have to avoid, and you might have to avoid the third one, but most of the time I don't have to. In the rock throwers, gotta avoid those. Remember, try and stay as far away as possible you can from them to make them spread out. The further you are away, the more it spreads out, and looks like the projectiles are getting blocked from the shards, so you can use walls to your advantage here. Looks like everything here does get absorbed by walls. It's just only the snakes that don't get, their attacks don't get absorbed by walls. I will purchase sapphires. More sapphires the better. Okay. I generally just always buy... Oh, also... I have to let you know, I don't know how it is for other chapters, but I've literally played 5 runs today on chapter 9. Oh, actually, let's talk about this boss first. Okay, so this boss is really hard. Okay, so basically what you want to do is opposite of the bomb guy, of the smaller bomb guys. You want to stand like next to the rocks, if that makes sense, because the directions are diagonal. So as you can see, I stand next to the rocks. It's hard to get all of them. Stand next to the rocks. It's so fast, I'm sorry, it's really hard to explain. Stand next to the rocks, stand next to the rocks. Okay, yeah. See, if you stand next to it, it doesn't really hit you. Okay, that was really hard to explain. It was really hard for me to play and do that because that boss is actually really hard. I'll give you an example. So let's say this blue mustache guy is the rock, like the rock that he throws, right? So with that rock, you don't want to stand here. That's a diagonal position. If you stand there, it's going to split and it's going to hit you. So what you want to do is stand here because it splits in diagonal directions and not left, right, up and down. You're fine. So I generally try to stand next to the rocks because they all pop at the same time, and it's usually when a rock gets close to you. I think that's how it works. That's how I see it. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's how I found the best method to avoid those rocks. Another person said that you can stay along the wall. Oh god, not great abilities. I guess like a chilling blast. You can stand along the wall because the walls do absorb the projectiles when they split. So if you want to do that, you can do that, but I found my method to be the best. Personally. Okay, so we have Chilling Blast, which will help against the mobs, but it doesn't help against the boss, the end boss. So remember to watch your character. You really want to make sure you're watching your character to avoid all the projectiles. We really have one small boss and then the big boss very, very soon. The big boss I'm still trying to figure out. He's complicated, in my opinion. Okay, 32. So we got through all the monsters. I'll just repeat a lot of the things here just to make sure it's ingrained into your brain. You want to ingrain all this info to your brain. Okay, so snakes, 3 projectiles spread out start again. I wanted to sound cool and do it really fast, but snakes, 3 projectiles spread out. Bats split into 2. Ghost bombers throw a bomb that will split into 4 projectiles that go straight up, left, and right, not diagonally. I can't say diagonally. I don't know why. Every chapter I do, I just say it wrong, and then someone corrects me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how you say it, and then I forget. Okay, so split. So you just want to move. I think the best way for those bombers, like I said before, is just to move in a diagonal positioning. Oh my gosh, see how annoying these bats are? This is why Ricochet is good for them, because you want to kill them as fast as you can. Oh my gosh, so many. I hate this level the most. Like out of all the levels in this game, out of all 50 levels, that's not bosses, I hate this level the most. This one always messes with me. Okay, we have blood. Yes, bloodthirst. I love bloodthirst in this chapter. But it doesn't work against bosses, which sucks. So I have ricochet and bloodthirst, which is gonna suck against the bosses, but it's okay because at least we'll get to him faster, I guess. Positive thinking. I'm in a very bad position. Please heal me. Oops. Okay. So remember the shards always shoot in increments of 2. I just walked into that one. I don't know why. Remember to watch your character if you don't want to end up like me. Okay. We're killing them everything very fast right now. That's just the power of ricochet, multi-shot, and front arrow. Like good abilities just make this game so much easier. Okay, we're up to the fire boss, I believe. Okay, so this boss, so those orbs he's throwing, they just throw slightly diagonally, like when he throws the thing. It's very, very easy to avoid them. Like I'll show you. Like you just gotta slightly go up. That's basically it. Just like slightly move forward. But with this boss, you want to see him. You want to be able to see him, and you want to avoid his shards. So with his shards, you can see where the shards are going to be thrown, which makes it a lot easier. So what basically for this boss, keep your distance. Like be as far away as you can from him. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to explain and play at the same time. It's so difficult. So basically with that boss, you want to be able to see him and you want to be as far away as possible from him. I do recommend a weapon with a knockback in this boss. So if you're going to be running the tornado, you will struggle because this boss will move towards you and it makes everything a lot harder. But if you have the death scythe, for example, it pushes him back to the wall and he stays there. He stays against the wall the whole time. So generally I just stand around here to see him, to see where his shards are going to be thrown. And I just fire and start a step. And you want to start a step. I really didn't do it in this boss fight, but basically when you start a step, you want to move like slightly left, slightly right, slightly left, slightly right, because you're automatically going to be dodging his shards, and that's why it's important to start a step with this boss. In general, you should start a step, but with this boss especially, start a step really helps. So that's all the mini bosses we have for this chapter. We're going to get to the end boss now, which I still have trouble with. I still don't understand him sometimes. Okay. Okay, so now we're just gonna power through. Headshot, poison circle, bouncy wall. We don't have a lot of good abilities. Headshot is not. We got poison touch, I guess, because I can't really use headshot with the end boss. And now I'm just kinda farming. Oh, that was my last ability as well. I don't have many good abilities for bosses, unfortunately. Like multi-shot front arrow is extremely good, but I wish I got more attack boosts or crits for the bosses. I generally find level 40 to the end boss not too bad. I'm just kidding. As I say that, all these shards just popped out of nowhere. Never mind, I take that back. I think it's 45 to the boss. Remember, these are increments in 2 as well. It's a lot of them, but... Oh yeah, and also another tip, you don't really want to go back into the same position because you're most likely... okay, so let me explain it this way. So those shards throwers, I'll just use them for example. When they throw it, they will throw it in the position you were. So if I was here and the shards are being thrown at me and then I move here, the next shards from the next monster will be thrown at me. But if I move back, I'm most likely going to be hit by that previous monster because now I've moved back to the position he was aiming at. And that goes for a lot of monsters in ARCHERO. Fun fact. Okay, so I think we're pretty good. Just gotta watch my character and not mess up like I'm doing. No! I don't want to have low health. I'm such a dummy. I make so many mistakes and it's embarrassing because it's live. We're going to get a heal here. I need the heal and I'm going to try and get as much health as I can from Bloodthirst. Gotta watch the characters. Ouch. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm sweating. Palms sweaty. Okay. I don't know how I survived that. Okay, it's just a lot of bubble bats. So with the bubble bats, Gotta kill them as quick as you can because when they corner you, it's scary. That Chilling Blast is doing work though. Please give me the heals. Give me as much health as you can, please. I'm starving. Okay. Nearly up to the end boss. At least I have a good amount of health. Let's hope I don't lose it. Please, I beg. No. So many projectiles. It's so hard to avoid all of them, I swear. This level is just unforgiving. But I still have to try and beat. I just ran into that one. I'm an idiot. Okay. Okay. The shards are going to be thrown. I'm going to try and use the walls to my advantage here to avoid those shards. Okay. Gotta get as much health as I can because I lost all my health from the previous level for being a dummy. Okay. Now, we're up to the end boss. So, with the end boss, I haven't really figured out my own tricks yet, but generally I think you don't want to start moving because he has attacks that really mess you up. And you want to stay as far away as possible as you can from him because he has a dash that really messes with you, sorry. Okay, so he throws a projectile. I basically just take a hit, then I run around, and I take a hit. Okay, when he dashes, keep running because he throws an attack straight away. And if he teleports in front of you, it's really sucky. Yeah, okay, see that attack? When he dashes at you, he will throw those right away. Just keep running until those are gone and then attack him. It seems that he always... Oh no, it actually doesn't, I lied. He doesn't really have a set pattern. Oh my gosh, I'm taking so much damage. He doesn't really have a set pattern. This is why you want to stay far away from him because of that dash. Okay. Oof. 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 Okay. I don't know if that was very reassuring to do. Okay, I got it. I'll explain that now. It was really okay. I struggle with that boss still. I have defeated him 3 times, and I think 2 of them were revives. And this is the first time I've defeated him without a revive. I don't remember though. Don't quote me on that. I might have defeated him without a revive. No, it's 4 times. Okay, so I've defeated him 2 times without a revive and 2 times with a revive. So he has an attack. What I basically do is I just run around in a circle around the map, stay as far away as you can from him because then that will guarantee that you're not hit by the dash. Don't attack him after the dash. Wait until he always throws, I think 4 projectiles or 5 projectiles when he dashes, like right after he dashes. It's a lot of pausing and throwing attacks. You have to throw your attacks after he does an attack because then you have a small time frame in between. But yeah, that is all for today's video, today's guide. I hope it has helped you in some way. It was very... I didn't spend a lot of time on chapter 9. It was actually not extremely hard in comparison to previous chapters I've done because they did decrease the difficulty of chapter 9. So hopefully you can pass it too. But yeah, if you have any of your own tips for chapter 9, please do leave them in the comments down below. I thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and click the bell for more Archero guides, tier lists, updates, news, and more. A comment and a like would be super rad, and I hope to see you again for the next one. Bye!